There's a reservoir in Arizona sitting at 1%. It's not down by 1%, it has 1% left. A farmer down there is still paying $21,000 a year for water that stopped coming in back in March. The river that fed her fields is being routed to chip factories. Here's how it hits you even if you've never set foot in the state of Arizona. There is a woman near Casa Grande, Arizona, who paid $21,000 this year for water that never arrived. Her name is Nancy Kaywood. 250 acres of alfalfa and cotton, a farm her family has worked for generations, and an irrigation ditch that has been dry since March. She has hung on for almost 30 years, in her own words. The fee is not for the water. The fee is for belonging to the district that would have delivered it. I want to tell you why the water stopped, because the version going around is wrong and the truth is worse. Nobody stole it. There was no snow. Snowpack in the Gila River watershed, the mountains in New Mexico that feed her irrigation district, came in at 2% of the 30-year average this year. 2%. By April, the stream flow coming down the river was 39% of normal, and what little snow there was ran off in days instead of melting slowly through spring the way the whole system is designed around. San Carlos Reservoir sits behind Coolidge Dam and holds that water for the farms below it. It can store about 900,000 acre-feet. An acre-foot is roughly enough water to cover a football field a foot deep, or to supply 2 or 3 households for a year. In June of 2023, that reservoir was around 60% full. By late May of this year, satellite images showed it holding under 400 acre-feet, less than 1%. Every fish in it died. The lake closed indefinitely. Herons and pelicans came down to walk on the mud and eat what was left. And this is not one reservoir having a bad year in isolation. The Colorado River system supplies water to about 40 million people across 7 states and Mexico. A small town in Utah is looking at running out within months, with its main ditch reportedly down to 6% of normal flow. A rancher in Colorado has sold off a fifth of her herd because the stock ponds are empty. And here is the part that should sit badly with you. What water remained was released downstream anyway, to irrigators, because that is what the dam exists to do. The reservoir did not get taken from those farmers. It got spent on them in a year when there was nothing to spend. So why does the bill still come? Because of how nearly every irrigation district in the American West is built. You are not buying acre feet. You are buying membership in the system that delivers them, and a share of the canals, the dam maintenance, the staff, the administration. That obligation does not care whether it snowed. Kaywood does the same arithmetic every spring, the fee against the odds of delivery, against the cost of pumping groundwater. And this year, she leased a neighbor's fields that have well access just to plant something. And she is one of the lucky ones because she found fields with a well. The business manager of her irrigation district has said plainly that there is a lot of farmland out there with no groundwater access at all, and that until surface water comes back, there are places where growers simply cannot plant a crop. Last year, the district was already down to less than 3/4 of an acre-foot of water per acre of land. She also told a reporter that people are now knocking on her door asking whether she would like to sell the land to put solar panels on it. Sit with that for a second. The water stops, and within one season, somebody arrives with a use for your dirt that does not need any. Now go back a century, because this was always going to happen. In November of 1922, 7 states divided the Colorado River between them. They wrote down 16.4 million acre-feet a year. The river has never reliably carried that much, and since the year 2000, it has averaged closer to 12.4. Every farm, every subdivision, every factory built in the Southwest since then has been drawing on the gap between those two numbers. Coolidge Dam finished in 1928, and the Gila Valley bloomed. The project it feeds covers about 100,000 acres, serving both the Gila River Indian community and non-tribal farms. Then the shortage declarations started arriving. And in 2023, Pinal County's allocation from the Central Arizona Project went to zero.
Hey everyone, real quick, if you want to learn about real estate cycles and you want to learn how to take advantage of this next downturn that we're already starting right now, so time's getting limited, links down below to the real estate crash bundle. It's a bundle of courses that I put together over the years to get people lined up with where we are in the real estate cycle and how to take advantage of it. Links down below. Now let's get back to the video.
The canal that brings Colorado River water across the desert went to zero. Not reduced, zero. Farmers drilled wells and made up a fraction of what they lost. Let me give you the fair argument against everything I have said, because it is stronger here than usual. This was a drought year, not a conspiracy. The river is genuinely variable, and a strong monsoon could put water back behind that dam this summer. Most cities drawing Colorado River water have not built out demand for their full allocations, which leaves real slack in the system. And the chip plant everybody points at recycles about 65% of the water it uses today and is building a plant to push that toward 90%. A water policy expert at Arizona State has said publicly that Phoenix and the company have been coordinating specifically so that new industrial demand does not land on other users. The company's Arizona president has said on the record that water is a constant concern in the region and that they intend to be a responsible neighbor in how they use it. The reclamation plant they broke ground on is due in 2028, and the forecasters gave this region somewhere between a 1 in 3 and a 1 in 2 chance of an above-average monsoon, which could genuinely put water back behind that dam. All of that is true, every word. Here is what it does not answer. In December, the rules that govern how this entire river gets divided expire, and the queue is being rewritten right now. Look at what is arriving in the driest state in the country. The first chip fab in North Phoenix uses about 4.75 million gallons of water a day, roughly 5,300 acre-feet a year. 3 fabs at full production project to around 17 million gallons a day, and I want to be honest about that number because it gets thrown around badly. That is gross intake. After recycling, the city expects to actually supply something closer to 4 million. The second fab is built, but does not start producing until late next year. And the company has since announced plans for as many as 10 fabs on a campus it says will take $265 billion. A data center campus in Mesa is permitted for up to 4 million gallons a day. That is a ceiling, not a meter reading. Another project broke ground in the West Valley. And here's the part that actually matters, the one almost nobody explains. Arizona law makes it very hard for a large new industrial project to get a fresh groundwater certificate. So they do not. They buy existing supplemental rights instead. They purchase a place in a line that was already full. Some of that supply is the same category Pinal County farmers watched go to zero. Nobody drains San Carlos to make microchips. The Gila and the Phoenix water system are not even the same plumbing. What is happening is quieter than that. In a basin that promised more water than it has, the people arriving with the most money are buying position, and the people who have held position for 100 years are being asked to give some back. So write down 3 dates and keep them separate because the coverage is going to blur them. The 1st of October is when the federal government intends to finish its decision on how the river gets operated after this year, with or without agreement from the 7 states. The 31st of December is when the current rules actually expire, and January is when whatever replaces them takes effect. The states already blew through one deadline this February, and they are still deadlocked. The proposal on the table asks Arizona for the deepest cut of the lower basin states, which means the state being asked to give up the most is also the state building the fastest growing industrial demand for water in the country. If you live anywhere in the West, find out whose water you are drinking. There are 3 different answers, and they have completely different exposure this winter. Colorado River water delivered through a canal project, in-state rivers, or groundwater under your feet. Your utility or your water district will tell you which, and the answer changes what December means for you. Then find out who holds the senior rights where you live, because in Western water, older claims get served first and newer ones get cut first, and it is public record. Most people have never looked. And if you are on a farm or you own irrigated land, read what your district actually charges for, because as Kaywood just learned in the hardest way, the fee and the delivery are two separate promises. Back on that farm near Casa Grande, the ditch is still dry and the notice is still in the mailbox. Somewhere north of there, an aquifer we covered a few weeks ago is being pumped down for crops. This river is being rationed for something else. Same region, two resources, one direction of travel. So let me ask you something. If you own land, do you actually know what water rights came with it, or did you assume? A farmer doesn't lose her water rights in a day. She loses them one empty irrigation season at a time. Economic Ninja is out.